Okay, guys, we're super excited. I'm so excited about this Zoom. I met Debra, may not even remember this, but I met Debra at Jules training, and she is so sweet. And I honestly have never heard her entire story, and I have been looking forward to this Zoom since when Ariele and I started trying to figure out, start planning our Zooms back more again since summer's over. She was the one, I wanted her. Can you hear us now? Okay, good. Awesome. Okay. I was just telling them that you may not remember this, but I met you at Jules training in Dallas. And that's the first time that I met you. And you're so sweet. And when we started, so we do our Zooms every Tuesday morning, but for summer, because it was crazy, we did not do very many over the summer. And so when Ariele and I started getting our order of Zooms ready for the fall, you were one of the ones that I was so excited about having on. And so thank you for taking time out of your day to spend with our team. School just went back for a lot of people this week, so I know that could be one reason our numbers are a little bit lower. And then Houston, we have a ton of team members in Houston, and so, but we're recording, and so I know people will hear this, but I am just so excited to hear your story and for you to give us some advice. So you take it away. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Who'd have thought one little volume key would make a whole difference?
That's funny.
I appreciate that. I'm going to begin this call with just this overwhelming, and when you hear my story, you'll kind of understand this feeling of just, I'm overwhelmed with emotions about what's going on around us. There is nobody everyone is affected by this flooding, everyone. I say that honestly, sadly, with experience from last year. Who'd have thought when I met you in that training what was to come within the same year. But Debra McCutcheon, I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and a little bit outside of that, a little suburb outside of that. I have been doing Plexus, y'all, since June of 2011.
I love it.
6 years of doing this. When I first started, the accelerator had just come out. It didn't even have a name. It was in a little baggie. So it was really interesting. You share it with people. We had the BioCleanse, we had the ProBio, but no triplex name for it. As a matter of fact, we called it that other stuff other than the Slim. It was really neat because the focus on the pink drink was so strong because that was all they had, the testimonies. Our One Plexus Award winner, Coach Ronnie Cuevas, he is probably about 2 hours in Mississippi. And he probably was the one with the biggest testimony from just the Slim. So just to take you back to that 2011, so 6 years ago, I started Plexus just to get off the couch, y'all. This is Southern Italian mama here. You could fry up a cricket and not dip it in ranch and eat it, okay? That's what we do. We talk with our hands and we eat. So that's really why I believe that this took off so strongly in the South, because it was, the obesity rate and just what we do in our lifestyles, and it was the drink pink, and shrink, and it was get skinny quick. That came out first. Now we know, gosh, there's the volumes of information about gut health and get other things right before you get the weight loss. The people with blood sugar issues is phenomenal. My mother had type 1 diabetes. I was listed as pre-diabetic and well on my way because of the lifestyle. So that's why I started the pink drink. Within a few months, this is my kind of funny, crazy story about joining. When I joined, it was my very best friend from like 5th grade. She had moved about an hour away. She said, hey, you need to try this because, her coworker was sharing it. And I said, no, being so supportive, I would, very skeptical just because of the journey I was on and the weight loss. But I was skeptical, but I was willing after she said, this is what she said to me. She said, Debra, these products were made for people like you. People like you that have these sugar issues, that can't go more than a few hours without eating, need the energy levels. I worked in an office all day and I sat on the couch all evening. Okay, that was my life. At 40 years old, I lost my mom actually. She was 39 years old. She had battled type 1 diabetes since she was a child. So, determined not to end up that way, but I was slowly ending up being controlled by a disease. So that's why I started it. It was a 3-day sample. We didn't even call them decision packs. It was 3 days of samples. And by the end of the second day, I was floored at how quickly I felt like getting up off the couch. I didn't want to run the marathon, but I did want to walk in the neighborhood. That was huge. That was huge for me. Commuted 45 minutes each way to work. So this wasn't just your normal 8-hour job. This was a very time-consuming job that I had to do daily. So the energy was amazing. But then I started to panic because I only had one more drink. And I was like, who is this person? How am I going to get this stuff? Well, she called me and she said, look, let's just meet halfway on the interstate. You know, we can meet up and I can give you the products. I signed up. I actually signed up retail, but then started looking at it and went, okay, no brainer, wholesale. I'm cheap. I want the cheapest price. So literally we met halfway at an exit right outside of New Orleans, and I joined to be an ambassador on the side of the interstate. So that is my story. That is what started me. And it's kind of neat to relive that now, because just this past weekend, I was able to see her again because she's in Florida. She is a Sapphire ambassador, my upline. And I was able to see her again, and we were just laughing about that story 6 years later. 6 years later. I had no idea when I was drinking this drink that what was going to happen in my life, how badly I needed Plexus, and how much it saved me. And emotional, y'all, I know it's going to be emotional, just because when you start this, you know, I had no idea. I was just like, I like the pink drink. It's great. It gives me energy. Everybody needs it. I had no idea all of the complexities and how these products support each other and how much I was going to need it. Now, we were kind of driven by the product. You fall in love with the products, the business is going to be great. It's going to just come naturally. Now we see I'm reaching out more to people about the business opportunity first. I'm going to tell you, I don't know about y'all, but after convention, I almost like fell in love with the company more than the products because of just how much they've grown. Y'all, I'm not kidding when I tell you this. When I would call to check on my order back then, about 4 or 5 years ago, Chris Pike was in shipping. And they would put the phone down and holler, is Debra McCutcheon's order ready to ship? That's how much it's grown. So for me to see this excited that all of you that are jumping on board, even in the last couple of years, we were kind of like the dirt road. Y'all are on the interstate flying the smoothest way because Plexus is giving you all of that. So I love that. I love that about our company. I know we kind of had to back up to catch up just because of everything, but I still am amazed at the amount of orders that come through and the amount of things that happen part for me. So the business part, why do I talk about that? Maybe even more so about the products? Because I know people need what we have. Because I know that what keeps them awake is not the 10 pounds on their hips or on their thighs. It's how am I going to pay the mortgage? How am I going to pay the bills? I can speak from that experience, and I'll tell you kind of what happened. And it really did. I think when we met at Jules Training, it was, I was just kind of coming back from treatment. So when I did start Plexus, I was working that full-time job. I worked it for 2 years, went Emerald, I was a slow boat, okay, and really was growing this business and was able to walk away from that job, 14 years of sitting behind a desk. I was going to be like that accounting lady with the glasses with the chain, the jet black hair, doing the accounting. That was going to be my future, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just thought, this is what I do. I work in an office. It's what I've always done. So for me to leave where I was to be able to do this full time was a dream, and it scared the bejesus out of me. So the first couple of months, I was like, okay, I'm at home. I can work. I can do what I want. It was very weird. But you can't tell me God does not have timing. He has timing, guys. 6 months after I left that job, never not worked in my life at an office. 6 months later, I got diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer, and rocked my world. Made me, I can talk to you about all of the things that go with it. I will tell you, It was tough. It was very tough. I went through a year of treatment, went through chemo, went through radiation, like 3 different procedures, 6 weeks of the radiation, 6 months of chemo. Guys, Plexus came through for me. My team came through for me. They were the ones that were picking up on calls and doing trainings and doing team meetings and helping out, and the support. And then I didn't have to put in a leave slip, and I was able to, rest when I needed to and work when I wanted to. It was an amazing thing that Plexus did for me for a solid year. So much so that, I went to Emerald and was there for a year, actually went through treatment, and at the end of that year, advanced to Sapphire. I still get so excited when I talk about that, because I didn't do it. That team did it. My team did that for me. And really the morale and all of that we had during that time, it taught me a lot, y'all. Here's Leader Debra talking. I learned to let go. I learned that it is not as important to be everything to everyone. I learned that she can do a call and she can do a training and and you know what? Letting them do that, they started to shine. They started to grow. So this stubborn Italian here had to really learn a lot from this, the mental part of going through this. Finished treatment at the end of 2015, getting back to normal, and then, went to the dual training, gosh, I think that was mid-2016. And then August 2016 was when our city flooded, our whole city. We have 98,000 homes here. And again, this is in no way comparison to what we're seeing today. We flooded, our homes flooded. We left, we were gone for 3 days. I was just coming across some pictures that came up because it was a year ago. And so time hop can be a really crazy thing sometimes. It's good sometimes, and sometimes it's not. Where there's pictures of the boat going through my house, to get in and get some stuff out. So again, Plexus came through for me. Do y'all remember when, I think it was right when we were all in Maui and Kona last year, when Plexus sent several people to help with the flood? Those were my neighbors. Those were my neighbors. Now, let me tell you another thing about my company. This kind of is what gets me emotional. A lot of people sent donations. We're getting donations together now for our Houston people. A lot of people sent checks. You know what Plexus did? Plexus sent the hands and the feet that we needed to gut these houses. We had people these older people, they had no idea. This was the only thing they had, in these rural areas. Plexus sent the people to gut these houses, and that's what we needed the most. That's what I'm telling you, when I saw that, I just lost it, because my company not only is just going to send a check or send donations, which is so crucial, they're going to send people. And I'm floored. I'm floored. I'm still floored by that. Let me tell y'all, you keep your eye on this company now of what's fixing to come for all of our other people. I'm going to say about 4 hours west of us, Lake Charles, they're going to take the beating of it. They're going to take the beating. I don't really even know what's to come for the next couple of days, since it's so changing, but we have such a huge group in Texas. And, that is the part, I think that was the game changer for me. I did a couple of calls right after that. Y'all, I had to go back and look at them because I was like in a daze. But I wanted to keep my Plexus going. Again, wanted to really stay involved. And I had a picture of me sitting, and I'm in my kitchen right now. And I'm sitting in my dining room, and the floors and everything's gutted. And there's my little computer, and I'm doing a Zoom, crying through the whole thing. I lived in a fifth wheel for a year right outside this window. 2 weeks ago, y'all like my nice new cabinets? 2 weeks ago, I got back in. It took a year. It took a year for all of this to just come back, and all of us, imagine, the first 3 months after a flood, you're in a daze. You have to gut. You have to get everything dried out. You're not doing anything. It was a miracle that from August to December, people even found places to live. My very best friend, she had 13 people living with her for 6 months. 13 people in her 2-bedroom home. So we come together with this, and we did so also with Plexus. Plexus is just my game changer. Through treatment, I'll backtrack to that. Through treatment, my products were my game changer. They were my lifesaver. I'm not worried about losing weight while you're going through treatment. You're worried about getting up out of the bed. You're worried about the energy you need which is a whole different kind of fatigue, a whole different kind of energy. And the mindset, y'all, the mindset of doing that. These products, I started to lose weight. I started to get up off the couch. Who knew that for 4 years I was taking these products to be the healthiest I could be, to fight the most important battle I could fight? And who knew that the 4 years that I needed to learn how to be a leader with this team was going to enable me, for them to fly free and enable me to have that freedom that I needed so badly. So I pour into my team. When they're going through anything, we're there. We're stepping in. We're helping you. We're going to do whatever we can for you, because I think that's what it's all about. I mean, look at this right here, one Plexus. That's the beauty of this. Beth, I want to tell you, I don't know if you remember this, because I know that was like 2 years before even getting sick. And I know it might even look different. I met you in the pool in the Maui, and one of the things, and I just remember, because I remember your name, and I'm thinking, she's not even gonna know who I am, because it was so different. So I don't know if you remember that. So
you know what? I was probably in a daze because that was probably the first year in Maui that we were there. One, my kids were there, so who knows what was going on. But two, that whole year the first year I went diamond, I just was so overwhelmed because one, I kept thinking, why, I didn't sign up for this to be a business. Like, I was not going to work this business. And so I was so just, I guess, humbled that that God placed this in my life and that He did this. And then I also was so like, I don't belong, like, not that I didn't belong, because everybody was so nice, but I was like, so my whole first year of being in any of that situation, I just kind of walked around in a daze, and just a thankfulness and almost unbelievable, all of these things. Like, I'm in Hawaii, and so we are in an amazing place, right? And with amazing people. And so, yeah,
I think that's what we can get, is those moments that we stand back and we go, what if I would have said no? What if I would have not told people because I was scared? What if I would have said, she's never going to go for this, never going to go for this? What if I would have not followed up? What if I would have been just too scared to share this, or too nervous, or too, that's not comfortable, I'm not going to do that. I tell people that is where you are going to say, this stubborn Debra here, I'm going to do this. When I was going through treatment, I was like, okay, I got to get up. I got to go exercise. I got to go do this. Kind of like a little mindset with myself is I got to show myself that I can do it. We all have those, even before I went through that, you kind of think what it's all about, but then you go through it. And that's the part that I keep telling people, that if I can do this, if I can get out there and talk to these strangers and risk, what's the worst they're going to say? They're going to say no. They're going to say or they're going to say crickets, nothing. Okay. You know what? In my head, this is what I say: next. Every morning when I wake up, my first thought is, who is one more person that I can put Plexus in their mouth? Who is one more person? And I do that every single morning. Sometimes it's just messages with nothing. Sometimes 3 people join. Sometimes I go months with nothing. That's kind of the thing that I really wanted to talk about too, about the business, is 6 years, y'all. 6 years, okay? I can't even begin to pronounce some of the ingredients in our products, right? I'm not the scientist. I'm not. I won't ever be. But I know exactly what to send you, for you to do the research, and for you to read the ingredients, and for you to take your doctor and get your approval, and get all of that. I know that. And that is from me looking it up, researching, reading, doing anything that I could so that I can know a little bit more about the product. So my number one thing is, be confident in what you are sharing. And that doesn't mean being the scientist. That just means maybe knowing what are these 3 components in our products. Guess what? Pull out your catalog, because on the side of each one has those 3 basic ingredients in there with a nice English description of what it is. Okay? That's the part that I like. Now, remember when I was talking about letting my team shine? Little did I know that I have she's the greenest of greens personality, because she researches and she talks about it and she understands it. She has now become our guru for ingredients. How would I have never known that had I not given her that opportunity? She loves it. She loves it. She's actually one of our emeralds now out of Maryland, Mandy Glad. And I will message her. Okay, what about this? And what about this? Because you let that shine within your team. So if you have I have one gal who makes the best graphics ever. Guess who I'm calling whenever we have an advancement? Get your team involved, grow that team culture. And I have to admit, a lot of the things that I talk to y'all about and even tell other people is because I did it wrong, okay? I maybe didn't know how to do it right until I did it wrong. That team culture we had, I thought I had to drill and be the sponsor and do and do and do and do. No, we're in this. You see this? We're locking arms together. We're walking side by side. I'm not way up there pointing at y'all and telling y'all what to do. I'm going to be right there with you. And that was, like I said, a tough lesson to learn for me, in that we all can flourish and we all can do this. I had diamonds that reached diamonds within 2 years of joining me. Here I am 6 years later. Was that humbling to me? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. For about 30 seconds. And then I went, oh no, let's learn from them. I want to know what you did. Let's share that with everybody. So I think that's the journey that we've been on and what we've become as we're doing this. Don't get in a hurry. Don't get in a hurry. We've got tools in this back office to help you, to train you, to show you. Band together. If you are running a team page by yourself, glory be to you and bless your heart, because you can't do that. You can't do that. And don't do like I did and wait till you're larger and bigger before you start to ask for the help, because then they're all over here doing their own thing. Do them together. You need that support. So that was one of the things I think I really share right from the get-go, is involve your team in all of this. They're going to love you for it, and they're going to have the opportunity to build their confidence and to shine throughout this. And there, a lot of people will look at that as these leaders is, I could never do what she's doing. I could never say what she's saying. We bring them up on board and tell them this is what we did, because guess what I started off as? Silver, as an ambassador. Okay. Y'all, by the way, side note, that very best friend that introduced me to Plexus, the coworker that was sharing it, I told her when I first joined, when I first said, I was like, Julie, I'm joining. Do you want to join under her? And I'll be under you. You introduced me to this, my 5th grade friend. She said, no. She said, I'm in nursing school. I don't have the money to join, da, 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 da. So actually about 3 months later, because it took me 90 days, she was the 3rd person to sign up under me to go silver. Okay. She would have had that lineage and that genealogy of over 15,000 people underneath her, and I give her kudos every single chance I get, because she's the one who told me to do this. She's the one that didn't stop. She's the one that passed it on. So you never know about how people are and what they do. And let me tell you this about even the time frame. It was my husband, my best friend, and then another friend that I met, a nurse friend who literally actually was the one I talked to going through chemo and everything. That friend has now joined again. She was there, she quit, she came back. So don't ever give up on anyone. Don't ever give up. I'm telling you, she's been through a really tough time too with breast cancer. Again, we never knew that 6 years ago. Brought her back in with all of these awesome products to go through that. Who'd have thought that, So always, always, always keep in touch with these people on a relationship level. Lead with the relationship before these products. She knew how the products were. She knew all the changes. She followed me on social media. So she knew just how great they were. But she needed to see that in herself. So I think that would be my next tip, was just following up with people, following up. I have a gold ambassador. I gave her a 3-day sample a year before she joined. A year. I don't even know when she took it, because she was like, oh, I got it. I'll take it. She ended up taking the 3-day, but it was a year later that she joined. She's now a gold ambassador on my team. So you have to kind of go meet them where they're at, and then just walk with them. You can't drag them up there with you. God forbid, y'all. I have tried to drag so many white lines and, revive them. You can't do that. You can't drag them. You go meet them where they're at, and you take the walk with them. It's really the way that I tell people that, because it's a wonderful thing when they get it. It's a wonderful thing when they maybe share this with their mom, and their mom gets better results. I have an ambassador that's joined strictly because her mom wants the product. She didn't even want the products, and she's doing awesome. But look at her why. Her why is her mom. So she can now see, look what it's done for her. Look what it can do for my friends and my family. And it just grows and it just grows and it grows. So those were the two, I think the two important tips. We hear a lot of tips all day long. I think they're all fabulous. I will share this. Pull out your success guide. We ambassadors wrote it, okay? We ambassadors are the one who wrote it. So amazing when we read a couple of things in there about the Frank's list and about getting your 3 and all that. I'm like, you know what? I think Sheila Medina trained on that about 5 years ago. She is my actual upline. So that's where the lineage starts, is with Sheila Medina. So just amazing, amazing time. And, you know, guys, you know, a year later, here I am standing here in a new kitchen. I am so like overwhelmed with gratitude. If y'all hear the noise outside, they're even still working outside. But I know what's going on over there. And I know that just the overwhelmed and helplessness that you feel as you watch everything you worked for just go away. You watched it carried out to the curb, stacked up, and, you know, things being taken away. And, you know, I hope they get through this week with the peace of mind, knowing that help is on its way and that there's so many people that will come into your life for so many different reasons. And there was a reason that they had to be there for you. So I hope that y'all appreciate that too. And I wanted to read some of the chats. I didn't know if they had any questions, but that was pretty much it. I'm open to any kind of questions or anything. I probably skipped over a lot of stuff.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Like, I could just sit here and listen to you. I'm just like on edge listening. If y'all do have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. Okay, so I want to ask you this. So when you went diamond last month, like, what was your emotion? I mean, seriously, like.
Well, I wanted to throw up. Because, you know, I mean, guys, and let's face it, in 6 years, we've done this. You know, I've gotten close, it's dropped. I've gotten close, it's dropped. This was the closest ever. Right around, I'm telling y'all, the new Slim, if you have not reached out to every single person on the planet, even the ones, I tried it before. I get that. I said, but you haven't tried the new Slim. But you haven't tried the new one, have you? So that right there gave us a whole new reason to talk to people. I like to have like reasons to, hey, how are you doing back to school? Or, hey, how are you doing? We got a new Slim. Have you tried it? That really kind of gave me, I think, the push that really, where it went really high. It was a Friday, you know, July 31st was on a Monday. It was on a Friday. And we do a little gym class every Friday morning. I was all nasty, sweaty, whatever. Let me tell you what I did, and I'll be very humbled about it. I called one of my diamonds that's in like, she's like my level 3. I called her and I said, girl, I think I can do this. 200 points a day for 4 days. I think I can do it. So we needed that push. And then I looked at her and I said, am I back crazy? And should I do this? And she goes, and she's very matter of fact, she goes, yes, and yes. And that's what we did. We really rallied the team together. And it was very emotional about that, because I was really, you know, it's, you think, okay, this is kind of what you're working for, but oh my God, I have enjoyed the ride so far. I have enjoyed that, you know? And so that's what really, I think the excitement, y'all, I probably should send y'all a picture of this. I'm sitting in a camper in a little table about as wide as my computer right here. And I sat there for 4 days, you know? So all I can say is that you build up your team, you build up your people, and then the rest comes. That's what's so exciting about it. Was I ready for this maybe a year ago? Heck no. I didn't even own more than 3 pairs of clothes, you know? So now the timing of it, I think God's timing is just so crucial in every single thing we do. You partner that up with life-changing products, with an awesome, giving, caring company. Guys, when I was in the hospital and I had my surgery, Alex sent me flowers. And at first I was like, who's Alex? And then I thought, and my sister, she goes, Debra, that's Plexus. I went, they know me, and they did this for me. That's the kind of company that we have. The kind that will send people down to the place. They couldn't even get a hotel room, y'all. They couldn't even get a hotel here because everything was FEMA and filled up. And the churches put them up, and they stayed here, and they gutted houses. I can't even talk enough about how great my company is, how awesome they are. I'll tell you another thing. Products that were lost in the flood, damaged, flooded, demolished, thrown out, they replenished them. We messaged them and said, oh my gosh, you know, they lost their products. They just joined, you know, whatever. Boom, they get something else. What kind of company does this? It's so amazing. If you are new, I will tell you this. If you are new and have just joined this company, you are so dang lucky. You are so dang blessed. You might not even see it yet, but just wait. Just wait. There's going to be something that's going to hit you, and you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is the company. This is where I was meant to be. So I hope that for you.
Absolutely. And what I love about listening to all of this and what we know to be true is just the relationships, the friendships, the relationships, it all starts from the top. And, people can say that all day long, but truly with Plexus, it starts from the top. Alec and Tarl and Marianne and Sarah and all of our executives care so deeply about each one of us in this company. And they know that this is our, that this is our life, and they want it to be a legacy company. And they care about each one of us, each one of you, they care. And then just the ambassadors, doing this with your best friends and meeting people along the way and reconnecting with friends that you've had from elementary school or from all different phases of the life, and watching them become friends is so fun. And then meeting new people like you. Like, I can't wait to hang out in the pool. It's gotten so big kind of, but now I'll get to be like in the smaller, at the beginning it'll be, and just getting to know you more. And I'm so excited about that. But just truly, the one Plexus, that all of that, it really is amazing. And if you have new team members, I want them to listen to this, because I promise you it doesn't get better than this. It does not get better than knowing what we are a part of. And you've been through a whole lot, and God had it all under control, even though when it was the lowest of low and the hardest of times, he gave you Plexus before all of that. And Plexus helped you get through all of that. And you see, I'm like, I have tears thinking about it. Just knowing, and I know, like, even business, we've had a hard couple of years, back office, blah, 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 whatever, ups and downs and highs and lows. But you stuck through the journey. You never gave up. And that's amazing. And you're diamond. That's so awesome. And so each of you should take that and know that whatever you're going through, maybe it's, I'm not going to lie, this month for me personally, business has been like one of the worst months ever. But am I going to let that stop me? Am I going to be like, oh, it's not even worth it anymore? Absolutely not. Because being a part of this company and being around the culture of these people, you want to be in this for life, no matter where you are, what you're doing, because we are a part of something amazing. And we are changing people's lives, period. End of story. It's all about the relationships. The products are great. Ariele and I are not product people either. We can't pronounce any of it. We know what it does. It's the relationships. And it really is that we are getting to be the vessel that God uses to help people get their health back, get their life back, get their time back, and just be a part of something amazing. And so anyways, anybody else, you read all these, because, I was curious about this. Your products, like when you were going through your treatments, what products did you use, and like what helped you? I know everything will be different, like for different people, depending on, medicines and all of that. But what do you think helped you as far as products?
Well, look at the treatment that they're going through. So a lot of people have asked me. My specific was to my specific. But listen to this, and this is what I think really kind of is what it centers around. We know we center around gut health, right? My treatment entailed chemo every 3 weeks. I would do an 8-hour infusion. 24 hours later, I would go back for this. It's a shot for, I guess, for the white blood cells or whatever, Neulasta. And let me tell you, the things they give you around all that is even worse, because the steroids and all the things for treatment. So really what I was focusing on is days 1 through 3 were treatment, and then you have kind of what they call your down day. That's when you go down, and you're usually down for about 2 or 3 days. After my first 2 rounds is when I learned what not to do, because steroids would make me want to eat. Y'all, was around Mardi Gras, I wanted to eat a big old king cake, okay? Cravings, and Italians, comfort. You eat, you feel better, right? No, not when you're going through that. So what I really did is I focused on the next set of days, because those first 3 days you are doing everything under the sun. I had everything coming through a port, and then you really don't feel bad. You leave that infusion and you're like, let's go shopping, let's go do something. It's those 3 days later when it really hits. Triplex was my thing. So really that first three days was not so much focused on the products itself. It was the after. I did the triplex. I did the X Factor back then. I do the X Factor Plus now because chemo put me into the menopause, and y'all could stick my head in an air conditioning unit all day long. So when she stood up on that stage at convention and said that, and Helen's beautiful, fun story, I went, you did it again, Plexus. You did it again. I cried because I was like, they know. It's like, you know, when you think somebody's sitting there looking at you, she was looking at me. She's like, Debra, this is for you. So these products, y'all, the thing that excites me the most is we're not developing a product that no one has ever needed or heard of. Everybody on the planet needs something that we have. So I think the now, I've, of course, started on the X Factor Plus, but back during the treatment, it was more of the triplex and the X Factor. I did the 6 months. Towards the end of the 6 months, I started having reactions from my nurse and doctor friends in medical. I had what was called the red devil. When I called it that, my oncologist, she goes, who told you that? And so it's some kind of slang about how bad it is. But it's a combination of three things, Taxotere, chemoplasty, and Herceptin. I did that for 6 months. I did Herceptin for a year. Those three things together towards the end of my treatment really started to have some reactions, so much so that they almost didn't want to finish it. So here's stubborn Debra. Oh no, we said 6, we're going to do 6. We're going to said 6 treatments, we're going to do 6 treatments. So towards the end, a lot of the pain and neuropathy and a lot of the inflammation coming from the Taxotere for 6 months. I could not walk on hardwood floors because the planks would hurt my feet. It started here and it went all the way up, the red and inflammation. So unbeknownst to me, you know, the one product in our line that I had not ever tried yet was the Nerve Health. And I tried the Nerve. I now have a story because it did help with that. Imagine your feet kind of like hanging off the couch and how that feels and when it goes to sleep, times like 50. That's what you felt, arms, feet, hands, you know, 100% of the time. So I ended up with the ease and the Nerve Health towards the end. I didn't do too much of the P96, even though the soy lecithin, I was just staying away from that. But that primarily is the things that I used the most. The reason why I say this as far as generalized on people's treatment is you're not trying to lose weight. You're not trying to focus on, you're trying to counteract the symptoms of what you're going through. And that's kind of really true for anybody, for anything. So the gut health, BioCleanse and the probiotic, it should be a must, but make sure with those ingredients in there that's okay with the doctor. When you go through cancer, you have a team of doctors. They told me the other day, you know, now it's been 2 years, I can go back to my primary. I said, what primary? Y'all are my primary. I don't have a primary. But your oncologist, a radiologist, and mine was my breast surgeon, all together in the same practice. They went through all the products and they looked at the things, you know, and basically everything got a thumbs up. Everything got a thumbs up.
Awesome. Thank you. I was wondering that myself. So, okay. Does anybody have anything else? I can't wait to share this whole thing with people because I'm telling you, I could just sit here and listen all day long. And I'm so excited for you. What an accomplishment. I can't even talk. An accomplishment. I mean, way to go. Like seriously, this is going to be encouragement to so many people. I know it is. And thank you for spending time with us today. And I'm just excited that you're back in your house too. I need to see that kitchen. It's beautiful. It's so pretty.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this side right here because there's nothing in it. Because I wasn't buying furniture yet because I had nowhere to put it.
Right.
But you know, this, and I have to say that this was my dream. And like you said that about like being in Maui, people like me don't get this. People like me, there were things in this house I'd never even heard of, you know. And what had happened too, and I'm pointing this way because in our little older subdivision was our older house, and we bought this house 3 years ago. And we're in it for 2 years, and it was like, yay, we're in a nice house, it's great. And then this happened, and we had to start rebuilding and redoing, and we're just not those people, you know. That's the thing I say is I'm not the fancy smancy, you know. Got the car this past weekend. It was storming down, raining. I'm trying to get the stuff in the groceries. So let me just put it in the back. I didn't know how to open the damn back of the car. So we're just not those people, you know. And again, Plexus has helped us and blessed us for that. Guys, when I was a gold ambassador, it took me 2 years to go to a gold ambassador. And back then, Tara would personally call and congratulate everyone. Now he sends these awesome things and all these certificates and pins and stuff. You know, it doesn't matter what level you are, you're in the right company and you're with the right team, and the people that are coming into your life are for a reason. So yeah, we're not totally finished. Like I said, you can hear them out there hammering, because we're having to do this all kind of on the side, because we didn't have insurance. We didn't have insurance. I still have the old house, and we didn't have insurance. So that's kind of why it kind of, took a little bit longer too. A lot of us did not, and a lot of us took about 8, 10, 12 months getting back in. Some of us are still not in yet. So
it's a lot. Well, I'm excited. I mean, it looks beautiful, seriously. And that's you saying that, like, and that's exactly what I meant. Like, we are just people. Like, we've never been to Hawaii, and I just flew my kids first class to Hawaii, that year. I mean, any of it, we're just people. But I'm going to tell you, I say this quite often. If you're a silver ambassador, if you're an ambassador and you have one customer, or, I hear all the time people go, oh, I'm just silver. You're not just silver. You've changed somebody's life. You're a silver ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and you should be proud of that. You should be proud of this company, right? No matter what level you are, because you have changed somebody's life. And we're just all normal people who decided to say yes, and might have been scared to share it first, but now we know we can't be scared or ashamed, because these products are changing people's lives.
And it really is true. I'd heard it said once, and now it kind of really sunk in, and it hits you. The certain things hit you at different times. It just means I've talked to more people. It just means it's been a longer, maybe even amount of time or amount of people that we've talked to. That's the only difference. Because let's face it, if you really want to boil it down to, we're all silvers. We're all silvers, because that's where we started. We're aiming for the 3 every month. I think that's a great kind of guideline to go with 3 customers or 3 new ambassadors. We're all silvers. We're all on that same thing. All it means is that we have talked to more people. We've gotten a heck of a lot more no's, a heck of a lot more no's. The other day I was on this little training thing, and this guy said something. He said, that's just snake oil. And you know what I said? I said, this is the best snake oil I've ever had. You will never sway Debra McCutcheon. There is nothing someone will say to me or do to me or show me or anything that's going to make me say this is not my Plexus. So that's the part. And that just comes, again, y'all, with experiences and with mindset and with the belief that you're in the right place at the right time. But it is up to you. It's up to you. My friend, I heard this and I thought it was really nice. You can't bake a cake just by reading the recipe. You really need to take that action and to continue through the no's, through the funk, through the self-doubt, through all of that, so that you can get to where you want to be.
Yes, thank you. Ariele, do you have anything?
No, I'm good. I think you covered it all.
All right. Well, thank you again, Debra. We appreciate it so much, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank y'all. Thank y'all so much.
All right. Y'all have a good day, guys.